Hey, good morning to you guys. How you guys doing this morning? CEOs, good morning to you guys. Want to say it is Friday, March 21st. We about up out of March. First day of spring, and it's Friday, so we're getting ready to hit our weekend. Some of you that are in other parts of the world, you're already into your Friday, going into your evening. I just want to say welcome and thanks once again for touching down with your man, CEO 369. Yes, Chauncey. Uh, I want to talk to you guys about something that I've observed this whole weekend. This work week, I should say. It's called, for me, the hard truths. You know, the path to excellence as a small YouTube content creator. Uh, in this virtual reality that we live in, uh, and also just to give ourselves that reality check that we can't live in YouTube all day. Some of us have full-time jobs that we do. Some of us have to, tend to families, young as well as old. And then also we have to look ourselves in the mirror to see what it is that we really want to do each day that we wake up. We face those hard truths that challenges our resolve, test our patience, and force us to confront who we are versus who we want to be. Now, I can tell you who I want to be. I'm kind of like Neo in the Matrix. I want to be flying around doing all sorts of crazy, wonderful stuff, helping people, doing things that I believe is truly golden in this world. But then that reality check kicks in, and Chauncey got to get up, do my 5 a.m. workout, my 20-20-20 formula. I still got to do another set of push ups, Russian crunches, and squats before I go take a shower, shave, and get my day started. Love on my wife if she will afford me the opportunity because she's joined the 5 a.m. club and she's like a grumpy mama bear, so to speak. But love her just the same. So, as a YouTube uh, small content creator, we see ourselves that we're reaching for the stars, right? But success isn't just about dreaming, it's about discipline, it's about resilience, it's about execution. For me, I used to do my content in the evening. All the while, I just finished doing, waking up in the morning, doing my workout, getting my day started, going to work, busting that full 8 hours, coming home. My wife would be working. I want to spend time with her, and I'm trying to do this content, and it was just, whew, took me for a loop. So, those were the things, the hard truths that I had to face. Do me a solid. Drop it in a comment. Tell me what are those hard truths that you face when you wake up in the morning, seeing the things that you got to deal with. Unless you like some of these moguls and you get to wake up at 12 in the afternoon, life is perfect, and you just get to, go about your day in the way that you would like. Like when we face the hard truths, what I've come to understand, especially on YouTube, you know, nobody cares until you win. In the beginning, our views are low, your engagement will be weak, and it may feel like nobody is listening. That's just part of life. That's because people invest in consistency. This is what I believe, and also results. So my game plan, and I told you guys many a times, I say 5 million videos, but I'm gonna post until I drop, transition from this world because I'm fascinated in seeing what other people are doing, and I love to see people comment, liking it. To me, is like opening up a present. That investment and that consistency shows me what people are thinking. Be it as a few views, a lot of views. Like when I restream, you get 3,000 views. You're like, what? How did this stream do what it did? And you try to duplicate that, replicate it. But that's just the hard truth for me in my observation. Yours may be differently. You know what I'm saying? You may not like a lot of views. You may just want to post something and go about your business. But the hard truth is that No one owes you support. You must earn it through value, persistence, and connection, with what's going on in this world. That's what I find out. Like today is Friday, and my Friday with my team at work, being their supervisor, one of my main jobs is not just to send them a message and say, tell me what you did this week so I can put this dashboard together for being part of exec managers as administrative officer. I take time out and I don't just say, hey, you come in at this time. I go and ask each one their availability within our 8 hour time frame because there's a lot going on. But I want to take time out to listen to them. If there was some hard things going on for them, what they face, what they saw as good, I want them to add value to this dashboard that I create. Tell me what was happening in the area of budget. And even though my budget officer, she's going to be on annual leave today, we did some pass down information. I also talked to my facilities person, all the different things that are happening within the building that he's observed that he wants to see improved, to the fleet manager, what she's observed, my HR person, all the men and women that are coming, that are going, down to travel, people that are on the road, property, our major inventory that we're doing. I talked to you guys a couple days back. Those are things that I do. I want this dashboard to have value so when the main person in charge sees it, his or her input, they know what's going on within our area of responsibility, which is both Georgia and Alabama. So I try to fuse all that together. Right now, it's an 8 page document, but that's the things that have been going on in in my professional life. One of the many things. A lot of times for us, we are seeing and what we're looking at is they call it in psychology, they call it the overnight success myth, you know, and it truly is. And that's a lot of times, especially, I'd say both young and old people do it. What we'll see is a viral creator and think, I want that. But what you don't see is the years of grind before their breakout moment. You can take anyone that you really, really enjoy, care, you watch, you see, you admire, however it is. And I always say that moment of being behind the scenes, if you could see that. I saw yesterday, Super Bowl has come and gone, right? And the performer during the halftime show was Kendrick Lamar. Now, the NFL has seen his just the overarching, response, good, bad, or indifferent, right, about his performance. So they are making a documentary about his behind the scenes and what it took his practices and coming to do the NFL show, the halftime show, and all the things that poured into it. It's not just him, but it's probably the dancers, it's probably the choreographer, it's probably the lighting, it's probably the stage, it's probably the other people that were in the industry. Say a Serena Williams, say, just a Samuel L. Jackson. All that collaboration that took place for I think they say the Super Bowl halftime is like a 12 minute, no more, probably no more than a 15-minute show, but all that poured into that. What had to happen from the people at the very top who run the NFL to the owners to the teams to the costumes, all those different things that had to come into place. So that's what I say about us. Those of us that are small YouTube content creators, we see that someone that probably caused us to want to start our YouTube channel, that caused us to want to be at that next level from the very first video that we created. Something sparked inside of us, and we say, hey, we're going to do this. And with the notion that we would have that success. Sorry, got to have a sip of this morning Joe. You know, the thing of it is about that overnight success, what comes with it is saying to yourself, once you realize what YouTube is really all about, from the YouTube studios, from the engagement with other folks, and trying to build your community, are you willing to post when no one is watching? Are you willing to create without the applause? I can say that word. Applause. When you clap. Someone's clapping for you. That's what actors. That's what skilled drivers do. That's what sport. People that are in the sports game. That's what doctors do. Practicing or creating when no one is giving you that applause. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I do. I wish somebody would give me a pat on the back every time I make sure that something goes right in my business. Root advice, things are happening in that regard. What are we doing to try to make that happen? And that's what I say about in this new year. The third month, the third calendar month, the second quarter, if you will, if you are thinking from a business mindset. you know, what has helped me a lot is, like I say again, I just have taken hold of the 5 a.m. Club. That book has instilled something in me from way back in early 2024 and has come forward. And I'm still on track with it. But guess what? Something else has hit me. I have started another book series that I really like. It's called The Hidden Collection, and it's a collection of powerful, powerful audiobooks. And these audiobooks have a similar sway or swag as the 5 a.m. Club. The in depthness I find that the 5 a.m. Club has done by the author, motivational speaker Robin Sharma, helps me to find other books that fit that mold of what I'm truly desiring to do in my life. So the new book series called The Hidden Collections. It's out on YouTube. It's phenomenal. It's an audiobook series, but I have just started, digesting, reading, thinking, absorbing it, one with my mindset, understanding the psychology of it, the heart set, the emotions that come from the book and the author who wrote it, and what he or she is trying to put forth, and then the health set, taking time out by way of meditation and breathing and exercising, and then soul set, that spirit, to help me on my journey. That's what I believe, that's what we are called to do out here in YouTube, is to help one another on our YouTube journey. You know, what ends up happening is that the market meaning that the people, similar to like the stock market, you don't see the men and women in trading unless you want to go down to these various markets. But when sessions are moving, kind of like right now, the London session is moving in the stock market. But pretty soon, the New York session is going to kick in. It's going to tap in. The market, soon enough, in YouTube, with YouTube, it decides your value. You know, you might love your content, but does it? But if it doesn't resonate with an audience, it won't grow. Simply put, I know I love CEO 369 Consulting, and I have to understand what I am shooting to do by way of looking at the books, YouTube Secrets or the Consulting Bible with Alan Weiss, connecting with other people out here on YouTube. Uh, if it's not growing, I have to really fully understand that, and I have to see it. And so I have to challenge myself to always be prepared to do what it is that to ensure that that engagement is happening. It may be slow, but as long as it's steady, and it's flowing, kind of like water. If something's in its way, does it go over it? Does it go through it? Does it go around it? My job or your job with your YouTube channel is to balance authenticity with that of adaptability. Know that you love, know what you love, but also learn what your audience values. That's pretty much what I'm setting out to do on my YouTube journey, you know. And sometimes when you overcome these truths, then that's what transition and transpires into disciplines, you know. And the disciplines over motivation. My girl Zuri, she just decided to get up and come around and sit beside me. Discipline kicks in, you know, over that of motivation, because you know, some when we're doing this YouTube thing, we're hyped, we're motivated, we're trying to motivate others to come out to our YouTube channels and things of that nature. To me, motivation is that spark. You know, it's kind of like you're out in that out in the woods. You need to start that fire if you're outdoors camping, and you to get things going. You're trying to build that fire to make it roar, and that's what discipline is. Discipline is what keeps the fire burning when the motivation fades. Once that spark fades away and you get that smoke and that smolder, and then it builds into that fire, you want to keep that fire going. You must, excuse me, you must develop a content schedule, a routine, and a commitment to showing up daily. You know, maybe 1 day a week, 2 days a week, 3 days a week, 4 days. That's the choice, and the call is yours on how you do it. But you have to do that thing daily and engaging with the world. That's the another, like, for me is the hard part. Sometimes with my full schedule, from having a business to working full time to building my YouTube page, YouTube isn't just about creating, it's about engaging. And I'm trying to work my fingers to the bone to come up with content and different things like that. But also in the same setting, I have, you know, it's tax season for a lot of us, and my wife works feverishly as well. But we put our taxes together so we can get a CPA, so we can get with our tax preparer to do those things. And also at the same time, I have things with my business that I'm doing my professional job, getting up, going to work, getting out here. It's almost 6:30. I got to get on the grind myself personally, but uh, and also being able to find time to engage with you guys, you know. And I'm pretty sure that's what you were saying for yourself. Are you commenting on others' channels? That's what's become my difficulty. I'll say it late. I'll raise my hand. As much as I was doing before, I have kind of fallen off, you know, a little bit, and I owe it to myself as well as to others to post that content, respond to others' channel, and I'm trying to stay relevant. That's what that bottom line is, what I'm getting down to with what I'm doing with CEO 369 Consulting. I'm sure I wish to remain relevant for the things that I'm putting out there. I wish to continue the networking with like minded creators because it helps me to grow, you know, having that period of workout, having that period of reflection, having that period of growth. When I look at your guys' YouTube content, I like to give the thumbs up. I like to comment. I like to do those things because it is almost reciprocal. I believe if we're authentic and we're adaptable, that same thing happens for us. So here is where I want you guys to help me out. You know, I believe that for my small YouTube channel, CEO 369, like I think uh, Dodash and Dante and many others of you, you know, from Miss Gwen I Win to Shauna Success to Nemo 504 to, you know, there's just so many of you guys. Empowered Living, uh, um, Big Jack, you know, to the twins. There's so many of you guys, you know, fishy things. You know, I believe that our time will come. I believe my time will come. I believe your time will come if we stay ready. If we stay ready and doing the things, and if we can see that we need to be doing those things that I just spoke about. I believe your breakthrough is on the other side of being consistent, providing providing a high quality effort. Also I remember that the hard times will pass. At 57 years old, the things that I've done and seen in my life, from the moment I decided to launch at 18 and say I wish to be an adult, move through this world and these things that we call life, uh, that the hard times did pass. When I was in the military, you go through that basic training, you like, what? But that did pass. And then I went on to AIT, the school, and then I went on to do the things I did there. Before I became an administrative officer, I was a mission support specialist. I was a management program analyst. And then I became an acting administrative officer, then fulfilling that dream of becoming an officer. And the preparedness that it took was the 4 years plus years with my boss at the time, and what he told me his job was to do with me. And so I have to put those same time challenges in. Also, just remember, when those times pass, we have to also persist with determining our own future. That is the catalyst for this YouTube channel. Is the what do you see in the future? What are you making your YouTube channel to be? Not just for you, but your audience. What about generations that come after you? What will YouTube even be like? Will it be this huge Akashic records of databases and things for people to review if they want to say, do, how did Chauncey, CEO 369, perform his day, and then hit the start button? Is it going to be something of value that they're going to truly engage with? You know, I say simply this: create your own hidden collections when you're doing your YouTube channel. No matter what your niche is, what you're doing, um, that's why it comes to that CEO mindset as creators, entrepreneurs, high level operator. CEOs basically, it comes down to this: hard truths. This subject, this segment, exists to filter out the weak. The reason you're still here is because you're built for this. That's the bottom line. That's why you're doing your thing on YouTube. So today, take ownership of your discipline. I'm taking ownership of mine. Take ownership of your mindset, your heart set, your health set, as well as your soul set. Take ownership of your legacy. I just spoke about it. You're building a collection, a library of what it is that you wish to give to the YouTube world, and also to share with small as well as large YouTube content creators. You know, my three foundations, and I got to wrap this up because I got to hit that shower, do one more set, and hit the shower. So I'll say leave you guys with my three main pillars. If you honor yourself, you're going to be able to honor others. If you love yourself, you will love others. And then finally, when you respect yourself, you will respect others. And as always, as my mentor, Robin Sharma, would say, when you own your morning, you will elevate your life. You guys get out there, enjoy your Friday, relax, breathe, and then do what it is that you enjoy doing, baby. That's all it is. That's what life's all about. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. Tap in, hit the like button, send me a comment, and subscribe. And we're going to do this thing again. You guys are the best. Happy Friday. Goodbye.